加入青创会已经13年了。
The leading entrepreneur organization.
创会到现在，我们有将近了2400位企业家。
Embracing the most diverse of entrepreneurs.
Maybe some of them they have very good business idea, but they don't have the platform.
Driven to propel Malaysia towards a developed nation, PUMM is committed to engage the community by nurturing Malaysian businesses, connecting aspiring entrepreneurs to government bodies, investors, and stakeholders, providing education and training, advancing entrepreneurs' business competitiveness, acknowledging the most successful entrepreneurs, supporting the underprivileged with the creation of sustainable income, promoting the unique Malaysian culture, cultivating well-being, health, and vigor for a balanced lifestyle, fostering a close network of media and influencers, and connecting Malaysian businesses to the world.
I'm quite sure that in the future, we are going to see even more entrepreneurs. Malaysia will grow and become a fully developed country.
我觉得青创会在未来能够走向整个马来西亚的每一个重要的城市，去履行、去实现青创会的使命，去帮助更多青年朋友在创业这个过程中能够实现他们的梦想。
Capitalizing on its vast resources and expertise, PUMM is poised to be the leading development platform for entrepreneurs in Malaysia and globally.
We don't need to go far because we are always guided by our core values, being motivated, always engaging the members, distinctive, and accelerating forward.
PUMM has allowed me to meet different kinds of businessmen from various industries. This has allowed me to look back to my business with new perspective.
Well, PUMM has given me a lot of inspiration. The energy of PUMM members, the leadership inside, indirectly and directly helped me to inspire in my own industry.
They help the entrepreneur in Sabah through the PUMM national event. So this makes Sabah entrepreneur business more sustainable and more prosperous.
青创业除了有这种学习的成长的平台，也是一个拓展人脉非常好的一个平台。我想在这么多年里面，因为来自不同领域，我们可以聚集在这样的一个环境，一个这样正面的一个环境去彼此互相学习，我觉得这是非常非常难得的。
And through the ecosystem that bridges, guides, and shares best business practices, PUMM continues to inspire and grow Malaysian entrepreneurs and the community.
Right, can we start? Okay, welcome to the PUMM program on the pursuit of success. My name is Bruce Lim and I am your host and moderator this afternoon. I hope everyone is keeping well. So if you are there at home, relax because we have got 3 wonderful guests here. and I want you to show appreciation to them because it's not easy to get young, dynamic guests on the show on PUMM. Give an appreciation to them by liking and sharing your page right now. And now let's move on to introduce our panelists. First on the list right there is Miss Arlene Tan. Arlene Tan is now currently the newly installed Secretary General of PUMM, or the Malaysia Entrepreneur Development Association. Her full-time job, she is also an IP, intellectual property lawyer specialist. In her own firm, she is a partner at Arlene Tan and Leong. So Arlene, welcome to the program. You have to unmute your mic, Arlene. Welcome to the program, Arlene. Yes,
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So she will be able to give you a legal perspective as well as a perspective from entrepreneurship as we look at how we find the secret to success. And let's define success later on, but let's move on to our next speaker. We have got Sophia Leong Abdullah, who is a consultant, and welcome to the show. Sophia is no stranger to the entrepreneurship industry, particularly in the areas of retail and franchise. If you recognize her, because she has written the book on Sophia Leong's Guide to Franchising, which was launched by the minister in 2014. She has been a long-time person. She doesn't look that old, although she's a long time there, with the Malaysia Franchise Association, leading there with the association. And prior to that, she was also active in the hospitality industry. She has consulted and built many, many brands in the areas of franchise. So welcome to the program, Sophia.
Thank you, Dato' Bruce. It's nice to meet all of you online.
Right. Welcome. And last but not least, we have Jay Chong. Right. So Jay Chong is the founder of Jagole and the CTO of 88 companies. He is the Secretary General of the Balakong Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and one of my fellow council members of Malaysia Digital Commerce, all right, and Chambers, MDCC. Welcome to the program, Jay. Jay has been very active in the areas of people development. He's been a trainer with JCI. So today we have got three very, very strong individuals, all right? Jay, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and everyone, especially PUMM, providing this platform for everyone. Thank you.
That's right. So we have got three strong personalities in areas of retail, franchise, areas of people development, motivation, speaker, and the lady who makes sure everything keeps humming along at PUMM to make things happen, will also give you a legal perspective. So thank you. Back to the topic of this program today. Pursuit of success. I find that a little bit of a paradox with what we are experiencing today. As you can see from the backdrop, all of us are at home, right? So in the middle of a movement control order, it has not only affected people's lives, we also see businesses, the economy also taking a hit. So businesses are suffering. That's why PUMM brings you this program to see whether we can find a solution to the challenges we are facing here today. And yet we have that thing called success. What does success mean in today's environment whilst we are in MCO? Arlene, you organize this at PUMM. So what do you define as success, and how do we pursue success?
Yes, to me, success, right. To me, I think success is actually a breakthrough that we have to endure during whatever circumstances it is, whether it is a pandemic or a crisis, it doesn't matter. We just need to get our mindset right change it, adapt to the current circumstances, and thrive better.
Okay, so talking about thriving, but prior to even thriving, we need to, I think the key word now is to survive and to sustain. And I think if we can survive and we can sustain, that would also be, in a way, some form of success right now. But let's see. Okay, right. Sophia, do you have anything to add?
On success?
Yeah.
Honestly, if you were to ask me, that word is a very far off word for a lot of businesses right now. I believe that being successful, generally, you just need to have things up your sleeve to be prepared and to be ready in order to be able to stand strong during this kind of pandemic or during any kind of crisis. If you can do that, you can be considered quite successful in businesses.
Right. I like that positivity in times of challenge. Jay Chong, a quick one. What does success look like to you?
For me, is the next day when you wake up, when you see back the yesterdays of yourself is totally different. You already achieved in terms of changing and innovate yourself.
That's amazing. So we've got three very different perspectives, very rich. Arlene talking about success in terms of thriving, probably towards the end when we are recovering. Sophia is talking about success in the form of surviving and sustaining despite the uphill battle so that we can fight another day and achieve the growth that Arlene dreams of. And Jay doesn't talk about success from the outside, but from the very, very inside. Whatever perspective you come from, right, in how you define success, the most important thing is we are here today in the midst of a COVID-19 pandemic, in the midst of the movement control order. We are all stuck at home in day 42, 43. I have also lost count, right? We have in the fourth installment of the MCO. So just quickly rewind very, very quickly. When MCO just hit, it hit everyone. What were your first thoughts in your industry when this thing came on in? Tell us what went through and raced through your minds. Let's start with Sophia.
Well, when MCO hits, I think a lot of people were not very, didn't take it very seriously, I would say, because there were still people going around, moving around, and getting into trouble themselves. But for businesses, I think they are almost like the deer being caught in the headlight. They are just shocked and, it's like they're stunned. They just can't open shop tomorrow. What do they do? A lot of people have found themselves in the situation that they were shocked and wondering what can they do in 2 weeks. And of course, after the 2 weeks, there were extension. A lot of them started taking it more seriously and getting more prepared. But I think we have reached a point that we are talking about post-MCO already. The current situation is like, nothing much can be done for some businesses. Some businesses were in the position where they were forced to change. I think those were the initial mixed feelings, at that point.
Right. In terms of, Sophia is talking about shock, didn't know what to do, then reality sunk in. That is from the feelings of the business community. Jay, what was your experience? I mean, aside from feelings, were there companies that were affected? Did they close down? I mean, there were a lot of rumors and fear mongering. We have got someone, SME head, that talked about 30% of SMEs were actually closed down. People would be retrenched. Did that really happen, Jay? What's your perspective?
Thank you, Dr.
Now that
Cruz.
we're in day 43.
Yeah, we are now day 43. Yeah, we lost count about the day. It is very true that when the pandemic already start, the first shock that I see is people actually so panic and fear. That kind of behavior actually stir the surface. Obvious thing that we can see is, I'm not sure if you can recall the very first day when the government announced the so-called down, everybody go and buy grocery. Eventually, it's like everybody going to grab the food, grab whatever essential things they need. That kind of fear comes up as a businessman. some of them actually use this kind of fear to sell their products. I give you one example which I found it very bad, because during this kind of time, people still selling hand sanitizer and masks in a very high price. That is something very wrong for me. And at the same time, the behavior that I see the change in terms of digitalization is there. Because last time, I'm not sure whether you still can recall, if we want to conduct a webinar or conduct a virtual conference like right now, you ask people to come in and join, you look at how many people will view, you will know, you will laugh. And if you tell them, I want a virtual meeting with you through Zoom, people actually laugh at you. But now it's like a normal, I would say a new normal. So eventually after this COVID-19, a lot of changes in terms of behavior.
That's great. Okay, before we even go to new normal, and I like what you mentioned about Zoom and having webinars. We're going to go into that in great detail. But on a general level, when it comes to business, Arlene, okay, how did they take it, you know, in terms of business and enterprises out there?
Right. So I'll try to speak from the legal perspective. I think more entrepreneurs as well as business owners, they are more careful with parting of money to maintain their cash flow. So in terms of drafting of agreements and conveyancing matters, those have been very slow. They are looking not so much into expansion anymore, but some online and logistic businesses are actually flourishing in their current MCO. Okay. So there are new companies that has been set up, new product lines that have been put forth to the market. Okay, and to us, we have for lawyers, some of the conveyancing lawyers, we are actually stuck because bank's document couldn't be collected, land office and SSM, they are not open, commissioner for oath are not in operation as well. So these people are facing major problems to carry on their life. Okay, we would see that legal industry is a major support service which is vital during this MCO period, and Bar Council has been working very hard to ensure that legal industry can be back to work. We have been fighting for so many weeks, and the latest circular by Bar Council, which was issued last night, actually confirmed that conveyancing department and other legal services related to essential services may operate 2 days in a week, but 2 stringent requirements have been imposed. And one funny thing is that lawyers whose regulatory body is actually Bar Council will need to apply to VT to get the approval to consume business.
Okay.
And one good part that I would like to share is about litigation. Okay, we have been going online for quite some time, and through this MCO, there is this online hearing by way of email that has been done. And last Thursday, for the first time, our Court of Appeal has actually heard appeal for stay of execution of 3 cases together, live stream, okay, through Kehakiman portal as well as YouTube. So this is actually a big breakthrough for the legal industry.
Okay, great. So we see challenges and we see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Who are the, I mean, from the general industry perspective, before we go down into retail or legal or training, right? Can you tell me very, very quickly, who are the winners, the big winners, and who are the biggest losers in this MCO, all right? And secondly, in your industry, would you categorize it as a winner or a loser? So, Sophia.
Wow.
Retail, shops are closed. I think let's put that into context. Arlene mentioned about METI. Very simple. When MCO was announced, there was a list of essential services. So the essential services are allowed to open within, certain time and guidelines. And there were also services that support essential services, such as manufacturing, that were allowed to operate somewhere around 50% capacity, right? So given this scenario, all right, would retail be considered affected, and how did they turn around? What was the light at the end of the tunnel? And before that, after that, we'll move on to Jay. Sophia, over to you.
Thanks, Dato. I think one of the things that you can see it's not just limited to retail. I believe that it's very difficult to define a loser and a winner as well. At the end of the day, the players, definitely sales were not as the same, even though retailers were allowed to open, even though some F&B that deals with delivery are allowed to open, but still there is no freedom in how they operate. There's so much limitation, just like what Arlene mentioned. And due to this, honestly, to meet or to cover their regular operation expenses, I think they still drop very far below the line. So if you say that winner and loser, I think almost everyone lost. I would say that at one point of time, there's certain percentage of loss for everybody. But at least some of the businesses, they could maintain, and in order to meet certain operation expenses because they were allowed to open. Definitely when like Jay mentioned, some people took advantage and abused the freedom given to them, and prices were marked up. So there have been cases like that in certain pharmacies or even in certain convenience stores. So at the end of the day, limiting the movement of consumers, they can't really come out and shop as much as they want to. And even if they do that, there's such a long queue. So all this limitation didn't help. At the end of the day, yes, they have the chance to operate in business, but because of limitation, they couldn't meet the revenue that they need to meet. At the end of the day, or at the end of the month, then they can really see what is the fallback behind all this. But I believe that there have been a lot of new players, like I even hear of new delivery company being set up during the MCO. There were a lot of new small players coming up just to deliver food, deliver grocery. There are even personal shoppers being introduced online, and a lot of these, you can call them entrepreneurs. They are new kind of opportunity for them, and they took advantage of it. Good for them. Those are some of the winners out of the MCO, I would say. Hopefully this is something that will be able to sustain. And of course, like what Jay have actually says, is the behavior being developed, because it generally, I think maybe Jay will agree, it takes about 21 days to develop a new habit. And if everyone is having the habit of sitting in front of a screen and talking to a screen all the time, that is the kind of new habit. So I feel that a lot of online shopping will still continue on. A lot of people that have to pay rents might be thinking about changing or switching the way they operate their business. So a lot of changes will happen. And definitely, if you say that the current moment, a lot of those with online platform that are already in e-commerce, I'm sure they are thinking in a bigger perspective how to advance in a better way once MCO is over. I think that is my, point for now.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. Jay?
Thank you, Dr. Cruz. Sophia pointed out a very good a point regarding this industry. There's no biggest or no loser or winner. But from my point of view, it's all about evolution, whether you adapt with the changes or not. Going back to the loser, allowed me to say that if your company didn't evolve during this kind of special and critical time, regardless what kind of industry you are going to belong to that particular group. However, even though your industry is greatly affected, for example, leisure industry, choose entertainment, you look at cinema company, all this, how they're going to survive is they change their method of their business. For example, cinema, they can go for online streaming. They have to change the way to really survive first, then go adapt into it. The other part is, even though the consumer had changed their behavior, but if you look at after COVID, even though everybody so enjoy in terms of like going virtual meeting, things like this. But people actually still prefer and back to the human bond, the people interaction part. So if you think you're not ready during this time, why not you think about you ready for after COVID? Are you really prepared? And wow, I mean, really go for it. And as in the competition will suddenly come up because everybody will look for the same thing, and then how you can become the leader. And between this moment, I will say helping the people that it needs to create a good name for yourself.
Yeah,
That's what
you
I see as
mentioned, yeah. Good. Before we even go there, you mentioned evolution. Evolution needs time, evolution, according to the evolution of male, it takes 100 years, but we are talking about COVID pandemic. It's not evolution. It's about an asteroid hitting planet Earth, and it's hit everyone. So it's a question of whether you survive or you don't survive, right? So which you think are the companies or industries that will die or already have died? And what do you think they should do when faced with such crisis of life and death? Jay.
Facing life and death. Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
because
that is
it's
much
easy to just say, well, I open cinemas, I open hotels, I've got to close. But you have got obligations. There's rent to pay. There is also the payroll. There are also suppliers. Tenaga is still utilities you have got to pay. What are you going to do? You can't wait for post MCO. So these are the industries that are the most hard hit: the tourism industry, the hotel industry, the airline industry. They can't survive until a period of post MCO or the new reality. What should they do in such a situation, Jay?
From my very humble point of view, is collaboration. If your industry gets hit so bad, I'm sure the other industry can help you in a leveraging way. Let's go back to the cinema industry. Okay, if you can't really survive in terms of you can't open your cinema, why not you think about you go for an IT agency or even goes to telecom and then come out with a new streaming site and you sell subscription. That kind of evolution and collaboration for me is the key. You can't stick to your own industry anymore. You have to jump out of it, think out of the box. That's my 2 cents.
Right. Arlene, what are your views on industries that are really, really hard hit? How do they get out of it? I like what Jay has just mentioned. He's talking about cinemas. I was just reminded of the London musicals. You've got Andrew Lloyd Webber. So no one's visiting his musicals right now. They are not paying tickets. So what he has done is he has streamed his musicals live, right? That may not generate revenue, but that will generate enough interest to the public for them to return post MCO. But that's contingent upon the company having enough cash reserves to sustain during the period of a lockdown or MCO. So now, Arlene, my question to you right now is, do SME companies, do small, medium enterprises have enough reserve? And in your opinion, as a lawyer, you have seen so many clients, how much reserve do you think they have? And how long can we last in this period of MCO? It was supposed to be only 2 weeks, but we are right now, extended into, almost 2 months. So please give us your views.
Yes, that is very true. So from my view, okay, from the researchers and statistics that I've read, it seems like for SME, their cash flow will be within 2 to 6 months. Not many would actually have a reserve as high as to survive up to 12 months. That is why the government is actually coming up with a lot of subsidies and all for them to actually being take advantage of.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of the your earlier questions regarding hotels like Airbnb, okay, how are they going to innovate? Okay, to me, they have to innovate and collaborate with someone to actually to be able to survive their business, because they are being hit as one of the most difficult party. Okay, and I know of one of the biggest Airbnb provider in Malaysia. They are not doing sub home now. What they are doing, they have transformed into sub kitchens instead. So you can actually use their kitchens to cook and to sell.
That's amazing. Those are
So,
really,
so
really
that is
amazing stories.
yes, that is changing of business model.
Excellent, because I've also heard of caterers, who used to cater for thousands. Right now, they are doing home delivery in small packages and in exciting packages and delivered in Mercedes Benzes. It's nice to listen to all these nice stories. But then
and
again,
I would like to sorry,
Yeah.
Dr. Bruce, I would like to add as well. Recently, there is a hairdressing company who actually changed their model. They have got employees of, I think, about 100 of them. Okay, so hairdresser couldn't operate as well. So what they do is to do live streaming from their own house. They cut their own hair. They teach the potential customer how they actually can cut their own hair. Okay, and in 15 days, they actually generated 250,000 of revenue from the live streaming.
250,000 revenue. So it's a paid content.
That's so. No, is the sales which they have generated within the past 15 days.
Right. And how do they generate that
from
revenue?
selling, yeah, from selling their products, okay, their hair care products, as well as their scissors and all. They are just
Right, so
teaching,
it's
literally
e-commerce
teaching
play.
people. Yes, just from their employees' own Facebook. The employees are cutting their own hair. The boss started it on the first day itself, trying the business, okay, and he got his business in, and slowly later on, all his employees started to follow the same thing.
Oh, those
that is
are
innovation.
amazing stories. Right. We all know that in periods of MCO, it's tough because there's so little money going around, right? You can't operate your shop, so therefore income is really, really scarce. And there are also outgoings that you have got to take care of, such as rents. In the case of retail, that's a lot, counts for a lot. There's payroll, there are other obligations to your suppliers. And right now, this ecosystem or this supply chain is already been disrupted through MCO. So because of that, you find that the cash flow will always be problem, and cash is king. You've got to preserve it. Now, where are businesses going to get the cash? So on one hand, you mentioned you got to find innovative ways to get customers. But on the other hand, we have heard, I think it was both Jay and Sophia who mentioned that you've got to collaborate. So collaborate is not only in terms of getting money, but it's also in terms of negotiation with your staff, with your suppliers, in terms of a payment schedule, right? Is that happening right now? Arlene.
Sorry, can you repeat your question, Dr. Bruce?
Because right now there's so little cash. You find that Sophia did mention that although you pivot, you go into delivery, but that revenue that you generate from your new business is still not enough to cover the downfall in revenue, right? And yet you have got existing obligations. The stimulus package that was announced that provides for a moratorium of 6 months in respect of loans, that is helpful. But then again, you have got rent to pay, you have got suppliers and all that to take care of. So there must be some form of negotiation. So as a lawyer, do you actually help facilitate such negotiations, or are we going to see a period of mass defaults and lawsuits? Tell us your opinion.
Yes, we are also involved in negotiation between clients and their suppliers at times, okay, upon the client's request. So we were trying to take a middle point for them, okay, trying to reduce their rental or even provide them with a solution. Let's say if rental 3 months, you give us 50% off. We sign on additional 1 year contract with you. These are the examples that has been ongoing, proposed to the supplier or even the landlords.
Right. What else is there a special formula in terms of negotiation? How should you approach it with your creditors and suppliers in this negotiation? What is the best way to approach it?
I think we would have to be, yes, I think we would have to be very sincere and very frank to them in terms of our cash flow, okay, and let them know in the next couple of months what would you be expecting in terms of your own cash flow as well as your overheads. So balance that out, bring them to a middle point, okay, because both parties will rely on each other in the future.
Right.
So full and frank disclosure will be very important at this stage.
Right. Right. Do you see that happening in the cases of retail and F&B in the franchise industry, Sophia, particularly among shopping mall landlords with their tenants? You know, are they willing to go in for a, I wouldn't say win-win, lose-lease position between the parties? Sophia, what's your insight on this?
I believe that I have gotten a few feedback. Some of the landlords actually haven't really agreed to any reduction or any delay in paying of rental. So that is one expenses that no matter what, still have to be paid. I've heard of that. And there are some landlords who have given some leeway. They can actually reduce or delay the rental for a while, or either use their deposit to offset for 2 months or things like that. So there have been some kind of discussion in this way. But honestly, if you look at whatever that's happening, I think a lot of business owners have taken some drastic action, as in they do announce about termination, or even, you know, a mutual agreement termination but not compensated termination kind of situation have been done. There are even a big organization, especially in the hospitality hotel line, who agreed that their staff, or maybe 50% of their staff, are allowed to work somewhere else. Not terminating, they're allowed to work somewhere else and come back in 6 months or maybe in 3 months situation. So there have been this kind of staff layoff, temporarily layoff kind of situation happening as well. There are also some businesses that is like chain store operators. I have also heard news that some of them are consolidating and closing up some of their outlets. So generally, businesses are being hit very badly. Like you said, like Jay mentioned earlier on, not many people will go back and expose themselves to the public immediately, even though MCO is lifted. Therefore, a lot of businesses will not immediately be able to recover in whatever way they suspect.
Right. But is this give and take happening in a positive way so far? In the past 40 days.
From what I have been surveying, in a very small percentage, only very small percentage.
So they are not willing to negotiate.
No, because in general, it's almost like a chain reaction. The landlord expect the renter to help them survive, you know, and if they were to give the leeway, how will they survive? So they have no choice. So
everyone has to contribute, right? Everyone has to contribute.
But I think not many people is as considerate as we want them to be, as general as that, you know. And now we really see how, I don't know how heartless, you know, some business people can be, because they are not willing to give way. I think it's something that we might not want, but we have no choice. It's a matter of fact. It's being proven now. That's the way businesses are.
All right, you've painted a pretty bleak picture, of the landlord and tenant relationship at the retail scene, and probably that's understandable because we might be able to bring down rental. But I've seen, huge malls, they have already announced they are willing to go down 50% rental. And I think recently they're even going down to 70% rental because mall owners, they have got bigger pockets and they are able to take the hit more than the tenants that they have. So we have seen some positive things there. But I think the question is, how long can this continue to last with MCO being extended? But thank you for your sharing over there, Sophia. But now again, that's another aspect which is the human relations, and that's where I want to reach out to Jay, because you are a trainer, you obviously motivate people. There's also an area about payroll, which is another huge, I would say, cost component in running a business. So obviously there would be layoffs, there will be salary cuts that we hear. How far of that is true? There seems to be a golden figure. You earn above 4,000, negotiate. You earn below 4,000, you still got to negotiate, but at least there's some help from PERCESO and other government agencies that are coming in for help under the Free Heartin stimulus package. Jay, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Cruz. I think this is quite tough question because it's like how company can survive during this really critical time. And of course, like what Arlene and Sophia say, a lot of changes and negotiation can be done. And myself actually see something different, as in, if your business cannot running now, you have to sell the future, as in you pre-book things like that, and as well as collaboration in terms of, if your thing cannot be sold by individually, why not you find the other essential thing and then put it as like, you buy this, I free this. That is the other way to play around. And then
right, so that's packaging, right? Yeah. So that's packaging. Now, how are you going to package that with your staff? You don't have enough money to pay your staff. Arlene mentioned you have got reserves of between 3 months to 6 months, right? So let's assume 3 months. What happens if this MCO and post-COVID continues? There's not enough money to pay them, right? What do you say to these people?
Okay, let's say in terms of staff, first of all, I wouldn't fire my own staff during this time. In fact, if I really don't have cash, I will really talk to them in terms of, why not we pay half first, and then after the COVID, we will pay it whenever the revenue is coming in. But on the other hand, for myself is, I will come, okay, put it this way. One of my companies doing travel, okay, let's say the staff is nothing to do. Totally nothing. Who wants to travel now? So for them, you're going to redirect them to the other project or the other company. You have to help them to generate income. Even though it's like, you can say it's none of your business, but you have to help them. And for me, my way is find a good partner, find a good company that can really give the hand to help your own staff, if yourself don't have the reserve cash to go through this. And the other hand is, of course, always go to bank loan, grant, and look for people around you to help you. If you're innovative enough, I'm sure you can sell your stuff, even though this hard time. When you manage to sell it, you get the cash. I always go for that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So that's a positive word. Right now, we have cleared the outgoings, the cost components. Now let's look at the more interesting things about businesses that are able to still continue to find sources of income by doing something different, either by pivoting their business or riveting their businesses in a way that they can identify with. So Arlene, back to you right now. How has this industries, aside from hairdressers, you can see, okay, now we are moving into an area that everyone seems to enjoy. One area that everyone sees is a winner out of MCO would be in the area of digitalization, right? There's no way we can meet. We still meet online. This is one of it. right? And then there's an area called delivery, because you can come to my shop, you can come to my restaurant, you can come to my office. So what I can do is I can deliver things to you. These are ways around the MCO. So e-commerce, delivery, warehousing, essential services, health products. These are areas that are considered winners, right? So can you give me examples, okay, of companies that have been successful, in your opinion, very quickly? And why have they been so successful? And what has been the key factor in being successful? Jay mentioned about evolution. Evolution takes a long time. In those days, in order to get into e-commerce, some companies take up to 6 months, 3 months, the fastest, if not a year. Right now, we have seen companies going into e-commerce, getting into delivery systems in literally days. Can you give us some example? And what do you think is the critical success factor? They are no longer evolutionizing, they are pushed into the deep end of the pool. How are they surviving? And what do you think is the key success factor for them surviving? Give us an example and a key success factor. Arlene.
Yes, in terms of digital company, I would like to give an example of 𝑋𝐴𝐵𝑖TES. They have been in the industry for more than 15 years. Okay,
right.
And we have seen their evolution. They are not only hosting their own cloud. Okay, that was how they started off, hosting. Okay, and slowly they started to go into the area of logistics. Okay, they have got 2 logistic companies with them. So apart from that, they also have their own internet mailing system, and they also venture into post system. So from a simple hosting company, they have evolved into other branches. This is one of the example I can think of.
Fantastic. So it's strengthening the ecosystem for e-commerce. And you mentioned Evolve. How long did it take, to get into logistics and all this?
I think for logistics, it's only for the past 2 years.
For the past 2 years, but we are talking about COVID. Yes. This is just 43 days. Do you have any examples in 43 days, Sophia, other than 𝐀𝐫𝐥𝐞𝐧𝐞 example? Yeah, given by Arlene.
Honestly, to see something turn around within such a short period of time, I don't think so. I really haven't seen any record of so short. But honestly, one of the earlier questions that you asked about how we feel initially, come to think of it now, is that this is almost like when we were talking about e-commerce, where we say that every businesses should think about having an online platform, and a lot of the big guys, even like those big supermarket, Walmart, or people like Tesco never thought of that, but now they are already, in the e-commerce platform. I feel that a lot of our businesses is in that kind of position right now, but they didn't take up the e-commerce platform willingly. They have been forced into it because if they didn't change and they have waited, and now they are being changed, forced into change. But I feel that basically, if you look at my business, my company name is Business Evolution. I help people to evolve. I feel that right now, evolution doesn't take that long. It's just about copying something that's already successful. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. How about doing co-branding? Working on things that already successful, and that you can leverage on each other, like what Jay said, collaboration. Just an example that I wanted to give to the travel agencies. If there are any listener out there who are travel agencies, how about working with some restaurant, especially maybe either Northern Indian restaurant, or it could be a Vietnamese restaurant or something foreign, for example. Talk about how a travel can be. Do a virtual traveling video. And of course, from there, they might generate some interest in the food. Work with the restaurant. Do a split on their profit or things like that whenever, they can generate interest through their travel videos for this kind of food. That could be something, I'm not sure whether it will actually work or not. I haven't tested it, but co-branding and having to rebrand yourself is something that all businesses have to look into at this point, because post MCO is going to change how businesses are being done. This could be one of the things that can help us to get back up to our normal income stream. So co-brand, collaborate. You probably need to do a lot of change in how we operate as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So you mentioned Tesco, which is fantastic, because right now what COVID-19 has done is reshuffled the cards. Whatever good cards you have may turn bad, and vice versa. Tesco was pounded by digital disruption, through their hypermarkets. But right now, because of COVID-19 and the demand for essential services, right, for essential goods, food, and suddenly Tesco is bursting. Just 2 weeks ago, I read an article that's saying that they are hiring a few hundred workers. So as we are talking about termination here, they are actually hiring. So that's a new lease of life for Tesco. Great work by Paul Ritchie. So, and you also mentioned something which I'm going to move on to Jay's area, which is about using videos, right? Because in the areas of hospitality, tourism, you have got data. You know which works, which area is attractive and not. So it's about using your database and link it up powerfully with digital. And I think that's where Arlene is alluding to, because she mentioned about 𝐀𝐫𝐥𝐞𝐧𝐞 exabytes, right? So exabyte has got data, and because of that, they are strengthening their ecosystem. And now let's move on to Jay, right? So what have you done? Okay, what have you experienced? You mentioned Zoom very early on in the program, okay? How have you transformed in the areas of training? Now we see everyone is up on Facebook Live, including PUMM. How has this exploded? Take us through your experience.
Okay, thank you, Bruce, to pointing out this digital booming in this critical time. Allow me to share just one more thing regarding the Tesco topic. I find it's very interesting because I have a friend actually founded a company called 𝑗𝐶𝐿. It's an online grocery.
Yeah, I know. Agnes and Joshua, they are my good friends.
Last time they always feel like, why Malaysians don't want to buy grocery online? They spend years to educate Malaysian to buy online for the convenience sake, for the, just to get your things on your tag on time, things like that. And then out of suddenly this critical time, they are burst in terms of no stock. Like what you mentioned just now, Tesco even hiring. Yes, 𝐻𝐿 also the same. So it is really huge spike in these demands in terms of consumer behavior. So when it comes to just now you mentioned about video, this digital world, allow me to share one more example. Haircut. All these barbershop can open and then they can't operate at all. One of my good friend as well, okay, I don't want to mention the shop name now. How he actually transformed his business is, instead of he actually asking people to, pay first and then I cut you later. No, he actually share with loyal customer or previously who attended his shop before. He said, join me, I teach you how to cut. He offered a very cheap class, just 9 ringgit online, to transform his business, to make himself survive as his staff, to pay the rental, the bills, things like that. So that is actually one of the way to really survive during this period. And of course, if you're innovative enough, dare to ask in terms of ask people to buy your future service. Now you cannot get haircut, yes, of course, but actually eventually, like after a few months, you need haircut as well. Why not you sell now? You ask people, like last time maybe you charge maybe 150 for a haircut, now you just charge 50. Think about pricing strategy and then think about this kind of innovative way in terms of like, I'm not just giving you a service, I also share with you my knowledge. I think that's a good one for me.
Yep. And that reminds me as well, it's not just the you can pay up front. And I think Save My Faith or Faith My Safe by Faith Biz Joel Neo has also come up with paying upfront, for food as well, that you can order through Faith. And recently, I think Healthland, Walter, has also said that, hey, right now you can't visit Healthland for your therapy sessions, but you can buy up front right now, and you get a lot of benefit. When MCO is lifted, it's only less than 2 weeks away, hopefully, right? And you can still do it. So these are ways to get cash, into your hands early, pay it forward. These are very, very interesting packaging or repackaging that you can introduce. Very, very interesting. Arlene, any other forms of innovation that you can see? So we have talked about pivoting, getting into deliveries, such as Tesco, Jocom. I still remember I was trying to get hold of Agnes of Jocom, and she says she works 16 hours a day just packing stuff. So packing, delivery, e-commerce is one of them. Doing classes is another. Paying forward is another. Are there any other ways and methods of where we can sort of survive and find some success during this period?
Yes, I think a well-known captain in the logistic industry, which Dr. Bruce is no stranger of, I think he is also doing something very different apart from normally coaching, okay, his ST followers. He is now selling spare parts online, okay, and he also offers free mentoring online for now. So his followers are getting more and more. And another event company, 𝙁𝙪𝙩𝙪𝙪, the boss is now into selling fruits, seafood, even marinated pork ribs to help up the family business. So they have transformed from their traditional conventional businesses, okay, to something which is trendy and needed in the modern life.
Should all of us who are dealing in non-essential services, should we all get into essential service business? How fast does it take, to get into this? And I think that leads me, we are coming up to the end of our program already. So we know we can give many examples of PKTs, Dato Michael Teo, or Lim Yi Huang of Doremi. Now she has got a food kia and a seafood kia. She just delivered a couple of things yesterday and the day before.
Frozen kia and porridge kia.
Right. So yeah, I'm very familiar with these examples that you have given. There will be many more, hundreds, if not thousands. So as we compile this, all these cases, we find that there are many opinions. There are many success stories of real people, real businesses, real problems, and solutions that we have found. Be it pivoting from renting equipment for concerts and events to getting into seafood and fruit delivery, right? To
and even
running
feng shui classes.
Yeah, feng shui classes.
Yeah, feng shui classes are being sold online at a very cheap price, 99 ringgit for mass classes.
Taking a leaf from my good friend, Dr. Joey Yap, who has been doing classes for many, many years. And we have got people who have from haircut to offering classes, Tesco, getting into delivery and all that. It's nice to hear. But then, what is the right way that you would advise for an entrepreneur who is facing challenges right now? He wants to succeed, right? He's got bills to pay. He needs to find sources of income for himself. He hears this 100 examples. He listens to every night there will be people up online giving advice, solicited or not, gurus, coaches, experts, consultants, some call themselves sifu, so many of them, examples. What is right? What is wrong? What is missing is a key, a guide to what you should do. So I'm a lawyer. I'm not allowed to practice right now. Should I go ahead and sell seafood? Right? I'm a trainer that has not been able to train because classroom, we need to observe social distancing. Shall I be doing e-commerce? Is there a way for us to know what our strengths are? You know, shall we continue to rivet in what we do in areas of training, in areas of legal, in areas of retail? Or when do we know that, okay, it's time to close shop and pursue something else new? What is that missing is between inspiration to action. And how do you bridge that, Arlene?
Yes, I think the first thing that we need to do is to clear our mind. Okay?
Yeah.
Put your thoughts into writing. And when you have that, you write down what is your strength, what are your problems, okay, and what are your solutions. If you couldn't think of that, okay, don't be pressurized. Just look for a second thought. You have friends, family who can actually share your problem, okay?
That's
and you
great
have to work
advice.
diligently. Yeah, you got to work diligently, okay? After getting all the advice, okay? Starting by protecting your business, you got to protect your brand as well. This is very important, I think, okay? When people are being pushed to deep end, you either swim or you sink, okay? Now with the ease of digitization, I think it is more easier than ever. Just get the right expert, the right mind, then you will sail.
Thank you so much, Arlene. Those are really positive words. Sophia, what's your input on what people can do right now? There's so much advice. Which one to take and how do I immediately take this into action? After MCO, I can implement it or do it even right now. What is your advice?
I think what Arlene started off as in getting yourself right, I think that is one thing very true. I always tell myself when you are in a position that you are hitting a brick wall, you have to stop and think. I give my own self as an example. I'm a business consultant that specializes in franchising, and I've been telling people, no way people is going to talk to me about how to franchise after this MCO. They are going to ask me how to make their business get back on its own 2 feet, you know, and make it stable. So I say that sometimes you have to explore what other skills you have in the industry that you already created for yourself. I've created myself as an advisor, as a business advisor, but apart from franchising, there are a lot of other things that I can do. I can do PR, I can do marketing strategies and things like that. So are those the possibility? Like you say, I think a lot of people will say, Chin Hong, you know, this industry doesn't work, you know, you have to Chin Hong. Why not? I always share this example. When you started your university course, for example, an engineer, when was that decision made? When you were age, 18? Before you go into an engineering course, right? Will you actually ask for an advice, a life advice from someone that is at the age of 18 right now? But when you make a decision to become an engineer, you were at the age of 18. So what's wrong for you to change? You know, if you need to, you have to change if you need to survive. Of course, you don't change in a very drastic way. Honestly, I'm sure when our millionaires go into different industry, it's a different class. They are servicing the niche market, the niche customer. Even though you are talking about marketing seafood or marketing whatever food it is, it's for the niche market. You pick your market. You have to really brand yourself. Just make sure that you brand yourself well if you really need to change industry. Otherwise, look at your other skill. What are the other offerings that you can give to others and the needs that is out there after post MCO? These are some of the things that you need to really explore. So plan now. For some of the retailer clients that I have, I actually told them, it is not late if you don't have an e-commerce platform. A lot of people are doing social commerce. There's so many social digital, media, social media out there, so many channels that you can make use of. Why not? Especially when you're in a retail where your products are not perishable, you can do any form of delivery. Those are one of the best things that you can plan and start now.
Right.
Don't have to wait until post MCO. I have got manufacturers who really have tons of stocks in the factory and it's not going anywhere. And why not pre-sell it at this point of time? Pre-sell it with an attractive discount, so that once MCO is lifted, all those goods go out, money comes in. So there are times that you really need to take very drastic action. It's very much case by case. So hopefully some of these ideas work for some of those listeners out there.
Thank you so much for your excellent advice, and I can capture two very, very distinct prongs in what Sophia has mentioned in how to tackle this new challenge in this post-COVID era. Number one, it's again the question of money, because we know that cash gives you survival. Without cash, the business cannot move, and in order to get cash, you need to just do something. Right? You just need to do something, and you could even do something with beyond your areas where you are comfortable with. Like you mentioned about manufacturers with stocks, sell it at a discount. It doesn't really matter. You get something. Give out lessons like what Jay Chong has mentioned. You still get some source of income. Sell seafood, what Arlene is saying. At least people are buying your seafood. You need this cash in order to survive. But another thing that rings out even louder is not just pure business. A lot of it, because of this card that the COVID has handed us, we have all begun to, despite being in our homes, reaching out to suppliers, reaching out to staff, reaching out to friends, reaching out to family in, you can call it negotiation, or some form of engagement. And I like the word you mentioned, Sophia, about a social entrepreneurship. This is what probably Dato' Michael Teo is doing with PKT. I don't know where he gets that money from doing coaching. He's doing it out of his heart. But nevertheless, it's a form of social entrepreneurship. You are reaching out, you're establishing good ties. So these are positive areas that are coming out of this. So because of this, you find your relationship with your landlords, which is meant to be negative, it becomes mutual understanding. The relationship with your staff, they say, it's okay, we take a hit, we all take a hit. It's not like we take a hit and you're going to buy yourself a new luxury car. Everyone is in deep trouble right now, and let's just go through it together. So that's the positive end to that. Jay, right? What is your advice, okay, beyond the engagements and social strengthening that has taken place and cash? What else is required, in order to succeed in this post-COVID?
Thank you, Dr. Cruz. You are talking about what else besides the three things that the great speakers have been mentioned just now from Sophia and Arlene. So, the last guy is always the tough one.
Well, we are moving into an area you are dying to talk about.
Okay, for me, I will still stick to three simple things. Collaboration is the key. If you can't do it alone, you have to look for partners, look for different industry, some weird industries that you never think of. Just look for it. Who knows, the collaboration is a huge thing for you. And number two is, I will always agree, go for social enterprise. Yeah, the right keywords is social enterprise here, because people will really remember the things that you give, especially during the hard time. It's not about you selling things, it's about what kind of value and help you provide. Until people will remember you always, especially when you carry a brand. Look at the big brand like Bill Gates. Their foundation actually is diverting 98% of their money and energy and resources into fight the COVID-19. Can you imagine that? Yeah, just for information, Bill Gates Foundation, their total assets actually have, I would say, their total value is about 54th country total asset of the world. So can you imagine 98% is how huge is that? They're trying to do the good cause for the social cause and build a good reputation. Last thing, I always say the same thing, opportunities for people that ready and well prepared. If you're not prepared for this COVID, prepare for after COVID. I'm sure you are doing well and you have your own strength in your industry. You must be expert in something. Keep doing it, because dedication will be the last key after the collaboration. So that's my 2 cents from my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jay. So we have come to almost the end of the program. I'll just get Sophia to just share, just in 1 or 2 sentences, what would be your parting words to all the young budding entrepreneurs out there under PUMM who is looking for some form of direction from you?
Honestly, on a business mind, it's very difficult because everything is like case by case. I can't really give you a lot, but I'm someone that is more on your character as well. I always tell the young entrepreneur, don't worry. A lot of people say good time don't last, but neither will the bad times. And if one of the thing is that when the tough get going, when the going get tough, the tough gets going. So stay in there, stay strong, and definitely if you were to put your mind to it and you think about a solution, the solution will come out. Don't just focus on the problem. I'm sure you'll be able to find the best outcome out of this whole situation.
Thank you very much. Really, really positive indeed. Jay, I like what you mentioned also earlier about, taking a word from social enterprises and social entrepreneurship. It's about building a brand, because that brand will carry you forward in the longer period as well. Well done. Arlene, we will part with your words of advice.
Right. I like the word thrive. Okay. At the moment, everyone is in negativity. It is those who are thriving who will survive and succeed. So when you are ready, okay, please legalize and protect your business, both in the internal as well as external form. Okay. Make sure your brands are legal proof for the future. Thank you, Dr. Bruce.
Thank you very much. And with that, we've almost come to the conclusion of our panel discussion today. My name is Bruce, but I think we have got some questions over here. Let's just answer this one. And this is from, our good friend, the former 𝐀𝐫𝐥𝐞𝐧𝐞. He says he is supplying wood flooring, and he's also getting into collaboration products and innovation during the MCO. Well, that isn't a question. That is, in fact, a statement that echoes what Jay is saying. Get into collaboration, right? And I think let's have one more. Eric Lau, Olive Fruits founder of Olive Fruits, was in travel for the past 20 years, now into import of fruits. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. These are not questions. I think these are just statements. And Eric, I wish that you do well in your business in fruits. Arlene just shared an example of fruits and how 𝐻𝐽 from Fruitia is all reaching out to friends, families. There are so many stories of this. You reach out to people around you and you get that form of a support system. So with that, I wish everyone the very best. You have got great advice from Arlene. Protect yourself from Sophia. Be strong. Think of solutions. And Jay, collaborate, because you did not do it alone. And if you do it together with people that are around you, it gets easier. All right. So Thank you so much, Arlene, Sophia, and Jay. We've finally concluded. And right now, we have not finished because we have got pitches for their presentation. And that person that I mentioned earlier about Only Fruits, he's coming on next. So picture number one, we present you Eric Lau.
Hi, Eric Lau, the founder of Only Fruits.
You used to be involved in tourism.
Yes.
So this is a pivot for you, Eric.
the toughest time.
Right. So
yeah,
carry
I was in travel industry for 20 years. So it's so difficult for me to just sit at home and do nothing. Then I saw my colleagues are having problems like tour guides. They have no incomes, and dispatch boy have no incomes. So I started this business as selling import foods by using some of the friends' networks. And up to today, it's just 7 days, and we have generated 4,008. Can you imagine how neat these fruits? And I've been helping for about three people that they need this money to survive for their daily, food. So this is what we have done, and within the 7 days, we have delivered to Kepong, Damansara, PJ, Puchong, Subang. Actually, this is just for my friends, that my frontliner in travel industry, tour guides. If you hear this, if you need any help and you don't want to beg, I think we don't need to beg lah. But if you need some help and support, come to me. I will do all my best to make this a success. The next steps, we are actually, after these 7 days, we sit down with my girlfriend, which is my partner also. And now we are thinking of having a franchise model to expand this business to the next level. So hopefully by after MCO, some new things will be coming up, and looking forward to learn more from PUMM. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We wish you all the best. It's good to see you, Eric. I knew him as a guy in the tourism industry, and it's amazing to see success stories and how he's managed to make almost 5,000 ringgit in just 7 days. And he was most happy when he saw cash coming in. Again, cash is king during this period. Right. Do we have the next picture? Ken Lim from AutoCam Group.
Yes. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Jay. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Arlene. Hi. Okay, can I share my PPT? Okay. Okay, this is my company, AutoCam Marketing. So we are in this industry it's about 13 years. Basically, AutoCam Marketing is handled for all kind of plastics and metals packaging materials. So the current situation in Malaysia is where the rubbish is a lot. So this is the the biggest country that the waste is available in their countries in metric tons per year. Okay, so the highest is China, and the second is Indonesia and Philippines. Okay, and so on. Okay, this table on the show that's percentage of waste that is mismanaged. Okay, next. So basically, all the waste in Malaysia, we are getting this info from DOE, Department of Environment. So they send majorities nearly about 56%. They send for landfill, and 42% for incinerator, and 2% for recycle. So this is a waste that is available in the markets. They saw all this. Then this is the impact of landfill also. So global warming. Okay, global environmental problems. Okay, this is my company overview. AutoCams. This is waste to energy, and then basically waste to energy is one of my industry that is converting the non-recycled industry waste to alternative. Okay, this is me, Ken Lim. Okay, I'm a business admin, accountings, honors degree students. And then this is my partner, Mr. Charlie. He's an oil specialist. And then this is Mr. Prabhu. He is a food waste management specialist. And the Eric Hall is one of my marketing CMO. Okay, our vision is to become a sustainable green energy solutions provider in Southeast Asia and lower the greenhouse and create a good quality of life. The mission is to our mission is to lower the greenhouse and gas emissions and improve quality of life, and to develop and diverse economical and efficient sustainable solutions for our stakeholder, and resources promoting sustainable and environmental friendly. Okay, this is a core value for the country and for the world: professionalism, excellence, and accountability. Next. So our services is end of life solution. End of life is mean the material is from A to Z is handled by us. So there is no third party going to handle, or there's no wrongful usage. So traceability, so we ensure that all the plastic materials or second grades or disposal materials is not wrongfully used, so the easy trace. So every day there are about 37,000 metric tons garbage provided in the country. That means 13.5 million tons of garbage is produced annually. So some people certainly do not know about advantage of plastic waste. So the plastics can be turned to diesel, Euro 5, engine oil, biomass, and bitumens. Okay, this is the things is, this is a residential waste. This is the common waste, and this is the ocean waste, and this is the whale. This is facing the water pollutions. Okay, why is the waste to energy so important? So the waste we collect and we send to the plants, and we process and we recycle, and certain things go for gas, and the final things unusable we send for incinerator to turn into steam and turn to electricity. Okay, cruise, biologicals. So this is the process. This is a mass burn waste to energy plant. Okay, this is one of the major products for waste material to be applied in build the road, build the stadiums. Okay, and then the biochar also is one of the materials also. Okay, transforming used plastics to oil. Okay, oil waste to diesel. Waste tire to fuel oil. And then non-recyclable material. Okay, this is the flow that these things to go for our landfill. And then the things can go for waste to energy, that is for burning purpose. Okay, basically this is the benefits, environmental CSR, the brand protections, cost saving, zero waste, 100% with traceability. Okay, this is our client. Okay, this is the wood waste. This is our supplier, and this is our JV company. This is the plastic waste. Okay, this is the cost saving generated calculations. And then this is total investment for the plants, where we are forecast estimate about 30.4 million Malaysians, 13.4 million. And then this time we're going for 10% dilutions for 5 million. And we divide for 25,000 per lot, and we are looking for 200 lots. Okay, this is our company, and this is my handphone numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you
for your sharing. I appreciate it.
Sure, thanks, Bruce.
Do we have anyone else? We have got ST, 3A's interior design. Come, ST, please proceed. ST, please proceed. I think we've got a problem with the volume. I think we've got a technical problem with volume. I wonder whether, yeah, so she's trying to get back on. Yeah, ST, can you just try? Sorry, we can't hear you. Is there anyone else whilst ST is sorting it out? Yeah, Ken. Welcome.
Hi, Dato. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Jay.
Right. Continental Acer.
Yeah.
Great flooring.
Okay. Shall I share the screen right now?
Yes.
All right.
But just remember, you on those on Zoom, you are able to see. If not, there are some segment of the audience are not able to see your screen if they are not using Zoom.
All right.
Right. You're on screen right now.
Okay.
Please proceed, Enko.
Okay. During this MCO, I've been meeting up online with a lot of my business partners. So we have come up with this new product. We call it 𝐲𝐿 Eco Indoor Disinfectant Chamber. So it's a 100% made in Malaysia product. So what is our prevention habit after MCO? We've been using masks. We've been using a lot of sanitizer. We've been practicing social distancing. Well, beyond that, how we can assist you to combat this pandemic? First, I would like to urge you all, look at the slides here. These are what our neighboring countries are doing. They are creating a tunnel. They are disinfect using these chambers. And you can see Thailand, Jakarta, Indonesia, India, and Vietnam. So what we are providing here is, I'll just show you the video over here. This is the chamber and how it operates. So it's basically sterilized 99.9% of the virus. Is being inspired using space-saving design, and is automated using infrared sensor. Of course, this product comes with 1 year warranties direct from the manufacturer. All right. Next, we are all businessmen. If you have one and others don't have, imagine your business will transform into how? Well, I use illustration over here. It's basically suitable to use for school, office, factories, shopping mall, residential, hypermarts, government buildings, airports, and etc. All right. We are doing a pre-order MCO today. Take action right now. The normal price for these products is selling at 5,008, including installation and delivery within KL and Selangor. Well, during this MCO, we're giving away discount additional of 1,005, which means you can obtain this product which only with 4,300. Further, we will give away a product worth 300, which is the disinfectant, which is proven can kill coronavirus. So contact me via my WhatsApp at 012-3795-933, and the delivery lead time for this product is only 2 weeks. Right? Take action now. And I would like to thank PUMM for allowing me to share this during the MCO. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. So let's see whether we can get ST back to the program or not. I hope they have fixed the audio glitch. Yeah. ST, you are on live. Yeah, the slides are there.
ST, if you're using laptop, please go to the cam/mic, click it, and then you choose the mic to the other source. We can't hear you.
Okay, this is our project. Our current project at 4-story bungalow at Puncak Petana. This is a semi-D project at 𝐿𝑘𝐨𝑟𝑎 and this is a terrace house project at Tropicana Aman Arasia. Okay, this is a high-rise condo lobby at Pascal Residence. If you wish to know more about us, do visit our website and our Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ST. Do we have any more? Right, she's back. No more. So I think that comes to the conclusion of the program. Let us not forget, we have got the next Success program by PUMM on the 5th of May 2020, which is 5 days from today. Remember, 5/5/2020 by PUMM. Come back on the 5th. I think it's at the same time, and they are going to put up the e-poster for that so that you're going to record. But before we end, I would again like to thank our Secretary General of PUMM, Arlene Tan, our guest, Sophia Leong, and Jay Chong, for contributing so much of your experience, your expertise, your input and sharing, and not only sharing, your advice on how to take action in order to not only survive, sustain, but to, as what Arlene mentioned, thrive, okay, in the new normal post-COVID-19. And with that, I wish everyone every success. Remember to always take action and keep safe. Thank you, everyone. My name is Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Bruce. Thank you, all the speakers. Have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the PUMM Honorary Advisors and Members Night. To all PUMM members, welcome home. 作为创会的会长，很荣幸今天被邀跟各位青年才俊一起一堂庆祝庚子年的到，祝大家心想事成，万事如意，家庭安康。这边我们要特别感谢我们的创会会长，如果没有当初他的这个前瞻的这个想法，今天不会有超过2500位年轻的企业家在这边。再次的祝福大家新春快乐，恭喜发财，健康好。